I'm wearing my jacket, but boss said I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she feel that from her head to toes. I need this guap, I couldn't care about my wrist and froze. Tryna hit that belly like home, and now your girlfriend wanna whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello and welcome to Stay in Place, the podcast. We're back with episode 8. Let's straight get into things. How are you doing, Jojo?
I'm good, man. Like, obviously, Spurs haven't been the greatest, but in terms of everything else, I'm good. How about you?
A big sigh needed after this week. Honestly, back-to-back defeats, it isn't the greatest thing to deal with. And obviously after like last night's big rival game as well, I want to just straight go into it, just get this off my chest, honestly, because I'm not in a good mood at the moment. And I'm literally letting it affect my like mental health. But yeah, obviously last night's game, Man United to Liverpool 4. I'm not happy one bit. Like, honestly, from like the first 20, 30 minutes, like we played really well, but then after that, it was just shambolic. I don't know what that performance was. Every single player, like the likes of Fred, Bailly, Luke, even Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I've been bigging up Luke Shaw the whole season. You know this as well, comparing him to the likes of Roberto Carlos. But yesterday, what was that lackluster performance? Like, Fred was constantly giving the ball away. Like, usually he's Mr. Reliable in midfield. Like, Eric Bailly, like, doing dumb challenges, giving away stupid fouls. Like, it's just like the players are not in it anymore. Like, you've got a Europa League to prepare for, and you're putting in performances like this. Like, it's actually just, we're just a laughing stock at the moment. Like,
Do you know what's so funny about it? What's funny is that he dropped so many players. He dropped many. He dropped so many players for the Leicester game, and it's like now and then. Obviously, you're thinking, they might bounce back and stop Liverpool in their tracks in the top 4, and then you see performances. Like, you think to yourself, "Are Man United actually really that good?"
Honestly, I'm just thinking about it now. It's actually 3 losses in the last 4 games. I know we beat Aston Villa on Sunday, but the game before that, we lost to Roma. Like, we lost to Roma away 3-2. Like, it's actually not good enough. Like, I don't know whether they're just getting complacent because they had a 6-1 lead against Roma and then they went to Italy and lost that game. But I don't know. It's just like we're just not. It's just not consistent enough. Like, they do it one day, then the next game is just back to square one. I don't know. Like, especially yesterday's performance. I don't know. Like, we're 3-2 down, like, and he brings on Nemanja Matic. Like, really, Ollie? Like, you bring on a slow CDM to like maybe try and get a goal back when there's a £40 million signer on the bench, like Donny van der Beek, who's like crying out for some game time. Like, I thought this was gonna be the perfect opportunity for him to like get some game time, like, because obviously Ollie's like resting players, like as you just mentioned, the Leicester game, like. Like the 2 teams were like different. Like, obviously the team that he put out on Tuesday against Leicester was completely different to the one he put out like last night. But it's just not good enough. Like, you play for Manchester United, even whether it's a B team or A team, you need to play well. Like, you need to give it all. Like, but I don't know what like his thinking was with putting on the Nemanja Matic to like get equalizer. Like, I don't see the like. I don't see
Why don't you think he rates Van? Why don't you think he rates Van der Beek that much?
I don't know whether it's because he rates Van der Beek or not, but I don't know whether he's thinking from a big perspective, like in terms of like having a big game. Like, obviously Nemanja Matic is more experienced, so he's maybe thinking in terms of like coming and seeing out the game, like pushing the lads on, like helping out the younger ones on the pitch. But I don't know where it comes from, because obviously he took off Fred as well, and he took off Fred and put on Greenwood, which was a very good move because Fred weren't having a good game at all. So I did agree with that decision, but it's just like sometimes Ollie, like, it's so obvious that he's like a young manager, like he's new to the game, like, because some of his decision making, and we can't really blame him for it as well, because it's the players at the end of the day that are like that have to perform on the pitch. But I don't know what it is, like whether they're just complacent or like whether they're just tired.
Yeah, maybe
And
it's a bit of both, really. But
re-
you can't. But to be honest, like there's not really an excuse, even though because he rested so many players on Tuesday, so it shouldn't really be an excuse. Like they should have bounced back, and especially that you've got a cup final, you want to go into it with confidence. You want to go into it with a bit
yeah,
of form. The form hasn't been great, man. So
that's
it's a bit.
exactly what I'm saying, bro. Like literally, it hasn't like nothing's clicked since that 6-1 win against Roma. Like I know we beat like Aston Villa comfortably on the weekend, but still, it just don't feel the same. Like even going into this final, I'm not confident one bit because one point I was gonna like bring up as well is like Harry Maguire makes a big difference. Like as much as you want to laugh, as much as people like take the piss or like have like something bad to say about him, like honestly, having him at the back, a captain, a leader, makes a big difference. And you've seen in these last two games as well. Like since he's arrived at the club, he has prior to the Leicester game on Tuesday, he hasn't missed one Premier League game.
Mm.
Like going back to last season in the Premier League, like we lost 8 times. Like he played around 38 games. Like he played all of the games last season. And this
Mm.
season he's played like around 34 and we've lost only like 4 times. So having him in the squad does make a big difference. Like
And
leaving,
do it. You know what I feel? Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the stats that I've
Go on,
written
go on.
on this notepad. Harry Maguire in the Premier League for Manchester United this
Hey, the
season.
stats.
Aerial duels won, he's first in the ranking. Blocks, he's first in the ranking, which may come as a surprise because we go on about Aaron Wan-Bissaka being the best one-on-one defender in the Premier League, having the most interceptions, blocks, but who's better than him at it? Harry and Maguire. What is that a surprise? I'm not surprised at all because I watch him week in week out, and I know how much of a good defender he is. People can say he got bullied by Diagne in the West Brom game. He got bullied here, he got bullied there, but he's still the captain of Manchester United, and you can see from the performances and the stats that he's like pivotal in the way Man United play. Successful passes, he's first in the ranking. Clearances, he's first in the ranking. Duels won, he's first in the ranking. Interceptions, he's first in the ranking. That's more than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Why don't people talk about Harry Maguire the way they talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka? What is it because he's an 80 million signing? Aaron Wan-Bissaka cost us 50 million. Usually you don't see right backs being bought for 50 million. Like I'm not comparing him to the likes of like
Mm.
Van Dijk, but still he's a big leader. Like his presence is actually needed, and it showed. It's showing from the last two Premier League games, like the defeats to Leicester and Liverpool last night. Like we didn't have him in the side, and we lost. Like we were
Yeah.
just
Do you know what I think? Yeah. Do you know what I think? Yeah. I thought because there's a lot of Man United fans that I've seen that would rather that I've said shit because obviously they feel like Eric think Maguire's pace lacks
yeah.
him down in situations, but you can clearly see that he's actually like from all the stats you just read as well that he's actually an important figure to Man United. So that one, like you have to actually put your hands up high and say Harry Maguire is like an important figure to Manchester United. Whether I think he would have made a difference yesterday, I'm not sure, but definitely he's very important to Man United. You can't like now stop down playing. Like if Man United want to get like better centre back, another centre back, new centre back, it shouldn't be like they shouldn't look at him as the replacement because Lindelof and Bayer are a bit mobile, like within their pace. They shouldn't look at like it's a bit. You can tell from yesterday that like you guys missed him, man. You
Like
guys missed him.
honestly, as much as I love Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, yeah, they're just not it. Like Bailly, like he has really good performances. Like his last Premier League performance against who's it, Aston Villa, when we beat them at Old Trafford, like last minute, like thing, a block, like. But literally, like the way he plays, it's just I don't
Yeah,
really trust him. Like going into the final, I don't want to see his name on a team sheet. Like even the likes of Kwanzaa, like he manhandled Neymar and Mbappe at like part at the Paris Saint-Germain stadium back in the start of the season, like in the Champions League. But Oli don't trust him for some reason. I don't know why. Like Victor Lindelof, like he's a really good defender. His passing's good. He reads the game well, like Maguire. Maguire reads the game so well. That's why I think like he prefers Lindelof and Maguire, because they bounce off of one another. But like in the big games and up against big defenders, Victor Lindelof gets bullied off so easily, especially like against Bertrand Traore on Sunday against Aston Villa. Like he's not the biggest of guys, but he still outmuscled him and just shoved him away. Like that's why I feel like we need another centre back to play alongside Maguire. Like it's just because I don't think Bailly and Lindelof are the right.
Yeah, do you know what? That just
candidates
answers
for the
all
role.
the questions. That just answers all the questions as well from earlier. Because I remember when Oli was getting criticized a lot for not switching it up, not trying to experiment with Lindelof and as you call it, questions for always like turning to Maguire and Lindelof. Now you can actually see like why he was doing that. Is Maguire gonna be back for the final of the Europa?
That's what I'm fearing. That's literally what I'm fearing. Like if he, because I think he's like his foot's in a brace, so and he's on crutches, so he's definitely
Damn.
not gonna participate in the next 2 Premier League games. But I'm just scared that he's not gonna be able to turn up for the Europa League final, because I'm not really. I like having a partnership of Bailly and Lindelof. That's not really trustworthy. I'm not
Yeah.
confident at all. That's why my mood's even more down now, because I know the Leicester defeat, like I didn't really take it that deep, but this defeat, like, and I've realized like without Maguire, it just isn't it, man.
And do you know what? Wait, so what do you? Yeah, I know this is a bit off topic as well, yeah. But what do you make of like? Cause I'm sure Eric Bailly signed a new contract as well, didn't he?
He signed a new contract, yeah, like a couple of months back. Like I love Eric Bailly. I have nothing bad to say about him, but he's rash decisions. Like you can
Yeah.
relate him to the likes of Aurier, who's from the Ivory Coast as well, which is
Yeah. Don't even
which
get me
ain't even a
started.
coincidence. Like literally yesterday, I think it was Reece Williams in the box. Like who goes in 2-footed like in their own penalty box to like win a ball? I know. I was saying to my friend like that even if it's not a penalty, I'm still angry. I was still angry because who does that? Like you're gonna cost your team the game. Like who does that in their own penalty box? Like it's just somebody, and even after as well. Like
yeah, don't even get me started with Ori as well. That's just they're good, but then they just have those moments. And at this level,
it's just like I can't trust you. Like it's the same with Paul Pogba. It's the same with Paul Pogba. Like as much as he's good on the ball and like a good midfielder in general, like he's just not trustworthy in the box. Like letting Firmino just have a free header like that, giving away stupid, reckless penalties. Like it's just, I'm just
at the top level, your concentration just needs to be always on point. Like and like.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you can bring as much quality to the team, but if your concentration isn't always up there, you're yeah. And I know this is a bit off topic as well. What do you think of Cavani signing his new contract as well?
I'm so happy that he's actually signed his 1-year contract extension. Like, because obviously I'm hearing people saying, like him signing a contract may not be good news for United's future because that might stop them from signing Haaland or Kane or whatnot. But look what he's done this season. Mason Greenwood's like picked up form towards the end of the season. Like he's helping out these youngsters. Like Rashford's improving on his finishing. Like he's nurturing the youngsters around him, making them better players. And that's why I feel like his experience is like vital in us like going forward. Even his presence in the dressing room, like the likes of why do you think the likes of Matic and Mata even around, even like Lee Grant, like they're because they've been through it, like they're experienced enough to like help others around them. Like it's like key in like them progressing in their careers as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with that news. Like, and hopefully like he kicks on and we celebrate his goals at Old Trafford next season with.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? I get where you're coming from because like players like Greenwood that are so young can look at like the way he plays, his movement, And like, I get where you're coming from in the sense that like him signing that year extension is a very good thing. But the only thing is, I'll see it from another view as well, is that like if it does halter you from signing the likes of Kane and like Haaland, then like what like is United really trying to make that progression and trying to catch City? Like that's what I'm thinking it, because I'm thinking literally, I'm looking at your team and I'm thinking all you need literally put Harry Kane in that team and he could literally you could be going for that league, like you could be getting more points on the bag. Like no, like as much as I don't want it, I'm looking at your team. There's so many good players, like, and I'm thinking get a guy that's on the bag you for. But you got to be the next move at the same time. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, what do you think?
Well, is that you offering Harry Kane to us?
No, I'm not offering Kane. Just being real, like Haaland will even Haaland do something. But
I mean, if you're offering, I'll take him, man. I'm not complaining.
Hey, nah.
No, I see where you're coming from. Obviously, it's a short-term fix. Like, obviously, with Cavani just signing a year contract, because it's obvious he wants to go back home. Like, he wants to go back to his like home country. So he's probably gonna just stay for another season. But yeah, like obviously, in terms of that, like that's the issue that I was like having. If we were to sign a striker, will that ruin the chances of Greenwood maybe becoming the striker for Man United?
Yeah.
Or another question is, does Oli see Greenwood as a right winger? If he sees him as a right winger, then we might have to sign a striker. But then if he sees him as a striker, then that means we're gonna have to sign a right winger. So until that gets resolved, I don't feel like we should like rush into a deal. Because if we get a right winger, that might ruin like Greenwood's like plans of like playing in his favorite position.
Someone like Sancho.
Yeah, but then if we bring in Sancho and Greenwood doesn't want, like, he's not ready to play as a striker, or he doesn't want to play as a striker, he don't see himself playing as a striker, then that might even ruin his chances of even making it in the side. So with your question, I see where you're coming from, but that's just a bit of a dilemma that Oli needs to like have a conversation with him about, like where he wants to see him play in the future and vice versa.
Yeah, no, that's a big dilemma. That's a very big dilemma, because it's like you obviously as a Man United fan, you want to see your team next year. Like you're I'm sure you're happy with the progression. Obviously, you'd want the Europa League, but you wouldn't really want the Europa League next season. You'd want to now just go for the Premier League, the Champions League, what we used to do, like with those teams. So that's like, I'm just like, how quick are you gonna do it with like a serial number 9, like a serious number 9 that you know is gonna come in and do the job and get the goals for you? And that's literally basically what I see your team needing now to take it to the next level. Liverpool going to be back. Probably Liverpool going to be back next year as well. So is it going to be that, or is it going to be a thing where you go with maybe just bring in a Sancho, and then even like use Green, because I'm sure Cavani's not going to play 38 games out of 38, even if he's 34. Like so like maybe I put Greenwood in that top position, but then is he ready? But obviously he's scoring the goals. He's a prospect. But is he ready to play in that centre forward position, or does he still want to play? It's bare dilemma. So I know what you mean.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, is he even up for it? Like, he has been playing. He's been interchanging with Rashford like a couple times, like throughout like games and whatnot. But I just I don't see him as that target man. He don't really run in behind as well. So I feel like him cutting in from the right hand side is his like kind of style. Like that's the style that he plays football. So yeah, let's just see where his career progresses. But obviously, yeah, he is a prospect, and he is like highly rated by the club. So yeah, I'm still not happy, obviously, about like last night's results. But we move on. And while on the subject of the Champions League, all Premier League tie. Like, how do you think that's gonna plan out? Chelsea versus City. I know, and I know that obviously it was meant to happen in Turkey, Istanbul, but then it's got moved. Obviously, they wanted it to happen at Wembley because fans are not allowed Yeah, I think the venue changed to like Porto Stadium. So yeah, how do you see that tie playing out on
Yeah,
the
no.
28th of
First, yeah. Firstly, now you can see like
29th?
firstly over like the years, you can see like how the Premier League's like the teams in the Premier League like compared to Europe, like it's different. The way Chelsea rolled over Atletico Madrid, the way they rolled over Real Madrid as well. Like you can like the way the Premier League's like the teams are going, like you can see just the Premier League. You can see why they brought the Super League. You get me? Because
Yeah,
like their leagues are not really that as much competitive right now, like as the Premier League. Even though City are always walking with the Premier League, but yeah, in terms of the final, like obviously I don't want Chelsea to win the final, but then again, I'm thinking to myself, obviously City's first time in the Champions League final. Like not a lot of teams historically have had like the best of like first time finals when they go to the type final the first time. But then at the same time, this is the likes of Lampard and all of that. This is like a completely new Chelsea team. So most of them haven't really, apart from Thiago Silva, hasn't really been in the Champions League final. So it's like I really don't know, because you'd expect City, like they need to win the Champions League now to establish their status as being one of the big clubs. Like they're a big club, everyone knows they're a big club, but you need the Champions League like to just establish yourself more. So, but then it's like Chelsea, they've got the better of them 2 times now. The FA Cup
yeah,
semi-final.
that's exactly the question I was going to ask you. Like, obviously, Chelsea have beaten them in the FA Cup and they have beaten them in the Premier League like a week ago. So do you feel like that's gonna like kind of have a say in it? Like, do you think like it's gonna kind of be like mind games to them? Like, do you think like City are gonna like
Yeah,
like those 2 ties, or do you think like it's just gonna be a complete different Manchester City side that's gonna like turn up on the day and do the job on Chelsea?
no, yes, that will psychologically definitely have an effect. Like they're gonna look at it and think like this five at the back, two shows playing. Like not many teams are finding the ways around it. Like even City had to try and match it, they still couldn't do it. Like, and I was even watching the like Gary Neville, I think it was Jamie Carragher. They were analyzing it, like analyzing the goals, and like you can see like the way two shows got them coached in this five at the back. Like they know what they're doing. Like even for the last goal, like when City are doing it, City are matching them obviously because they feel like there's no other way to like beat them, but they don't know how to do it. Like Aki's not closing his man down, and then CHO is just spinning him. Callum Hudson-Odoi is just spinning him, and then he's finding his man, and they're scoring the winning goal. So it's like I don't know. Like, but the thing is, obviously, when City play their game, like at any moment, you know, like they can be up for it, and they're definitely gonna be up for it anyway. So just a bit is like I don't know where to put this final. Like obviously I want to say City. I think City will win it still, but then Chelsea, the way they're playing, but obviously even their result the other night wasn't that great, but you can get at them. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Obviously,
you know,
Tuchel has been in the Champions League final like before, like last season with PSG, but then obviously he lost out to Bayern. And as you said, like this is City's like first time in the Champions League. Personally, like I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea do a job on City, but then City like in finals they just turn up like Pep
yeah.
Guardiola, like he just knows
Mm-hmm.
how to like just see out games and
Oh,
just
the guys lost one final in like how many
yeah.
finals? That stat is too crazy.
Yeah, like honestly, I love it. I love the fact that it's like an all Premier League like tie, but like I don't know. Chelsea have obviously won it before, but I don't really want to see Manchester City win it. But I feel like they're favourites for me at the moment. But then again, saying that Chelsea have beaten them twice already this season, but yeah, good luck to both sides. And yeah, while we're on the subject of Europe, obviously we mentioned it earlier, United being in the final against Villarreal. Did you see the highlights from last week's games? Obviously, Arsenal
Yeah.
drew to Villarreal 0-0. They needed a goal, but
Wow.
they didn't get that. And obviously, United lost 3-2 to Roma. So how do
At the time, you know what? Looking back at it, obviously, when starting off with Man United again, with the Man United Roma game, looking back at it, I remember watching that. Like, I didn't watch the game, but I remember like because it kept coming up whilst I was watching the Arsenal game, like what was obviously De Gea was pulling off save after save. Like De Gea, I feel like I don't know why people get on De Gea's back. That's another thing. I don't know why people like get on De Gea's back. This is that. They feel like Henderson's ready. This is that. I feel like De Gea is still top class. That's one thing for me. But then looking at the game, I didn't see as when Roma was scoring all the goals. Like, and then obviously they were getting goals and goals and goals. I didn't really feel, obviously United had got the job done, so I didn't see it like as in anything. But then now you look at it, and then after the game they've had against Leicester and the game they've had against Liverpool, it's get me like that was last week just like was last week just like a coincidence that they basically got the job done, so they felt like they were a bit complacent, or was it like, is this the start of the cracks again?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So looking at that game, when I was watching it then, I didn't see anything of it. But now it's like, wow, is that going to affect you going into the final against Unai Emery, a guy that's won this Europa League? Unai Emery, hey, he's done a job at Arsenal, but yeah, the guy that's won 3 consecutive Europa League, Sevilla, he's a specialist at this in this competition. So even with that Villarreal side, which I don't think is that great, but the manager knows this manager is such a specialist in this competition. You never know. So it's like, this is the worst time Man United could have been off form. That's what I would say within that one. And then within the Arsenal game, like, what can you say? Like, it's Arsenal. You knew that. You just knew, and I'm happy. You just knew that they came to a weird team, and then with 10 minutes left, the guy brings off the guy that's hit the post twice in the game, and then like
that man is. I don't know what I don't even know. I even felt sorry for Arsenal fans there, like when he took off Aubameyang. I was just like, why would you take off your best player? Like, what's going on? Like, and put on William. Like I like William, but why would you take off your marksman? Like you just mentioned, hitting the post as well. Like, it just made no sense.
The thing is, but the guy hit the post twice. Like, if anyone's gonna score right now, is that guy. Like, whether you like it or not. So to take him off, like, it was almost like you're accepting defeat. So yeah, that's the end, and they might not potentially get Europe this season, even though they got a big win against Chelsea. But still,
yeah. Like, honestly, Villarreal. That's why I'm not really like. I'm not too confident at the moment. Like, I know it's a one-off game, but even without like Harry Maguire, like, I just feel like really, like, I know we beat Ajax in the final, like 016, 017, but
that was when you had Jose Mourinho, a winner.
Yeah, we had Jose Mourinho then, but I know this is Ollie's like first final. Like, I'm really hoping that he does the job. So the fans
talking about the final, if you think about it, the final, going into thinking Man United are going to walk this. Like, maybe not Man United fans, because obviously you're not going to think your own team, but everyone from the outside is thinking you're just going to walk this game. Like,
I don't think it's not even like that.
No, but prior to this week. But now, after seeing everything I've seen this week, and then the manager Dave got in charge, what he's done in this competition, the manager you have in charge, obviously, I still think he's a good manager, but he hasn't won anything. So there's just so much pressure now building. Maguire might not even be fit for that final. Like, just so many factors now, and you guys are not even informed now for that final. So many factors now. Could Villarreal actually do it? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Then again,
if we win our next 2 games, all of a sudden it's like all happy days again. Like, that's the weird thing about football. Like, you put in a couple of bad performances and then win your next couple of games, and then it's back to you being the best, like being like playing really well. So you can never tell, especially in like football. But yeah, obviously you're right. Like, as harsh as it sounds, as much as I love Ollie, like, he hasn't won anything. So you can't go into the final like thinking about he's definitely gonna win like this like trophy, because he has nothing to like back him up with, like in terms of like, obviously when we had Jose Mourinho, he won trophies like prior to that final. But yeah, obviously without Maguire as well, it's gonna have a big impact on the game. But yeah, let's just hope for the best. Hopefully, we have put in good performances against Fulham and Wolves in our next two Premier League games, and then hope for the best.
Who's your next two Premier League games?
Fulham
Your next
and
two,
Fulham at home, and then Wolves away on final day.
you basically secured second place, haven't you? Let me check
Virtually,
the
yeah,
table.
basically, but
Yeah, I think
yeah, I
you have.
guess if we slip up, then maybe the likes of, but then Leicester and Chelsea have to play one another as well. But
But yeah,
moving on, I want to move on to your team. Obviously, Tottenham Hotspur playing Leeds on Saturday. Obviously, it was another cruising defeat for you guys, 3-1. So yeah, what's your like thoughts and feelings on that loss? And how do you see like things moving forward with Ryan Mason? I know you got a lot to like get off your chest as well, so
no way.
your
Like,
space.
there's nothing moving forward with Ryan Mason. We need like a manager. We need a top class manager to get us trying to get back into like being where we were under Pochettino, where it was challenging for things again. Like get us into that like area again. Like, and even with Spurs now, it's like I don't even get excited now. Like I just want anymore. Like, sorry to say, I just get excited for like other Premier League. I'm just excited for the top four race. See how this how the top four race is panning out right now. Because like literally every week in week out is the same thing. Like I don't get it. We signed Ndombele for so much under Mourinho. He's had his ups and downs. He's bounced back. He's getting played every week. He's been one of our best players, probably one of our players of the season all week. And then like you just shattered the guy. Now you come in and then like you stop playing and you start bringing. Sorry, like obviously Dele Alli, like even on the weekend, you got a good assist, like but like it wasn't even the great. Everyone's saying, "Oh, very good assist." It wasn't even the greatest assist, and you had the terrible second half again. Like it's like it's the same old. Like I'm tired of seeing like the same guys. I don't want to see Harry Winks, Dele Alli, and the starting lineup anymore. Like I want to see new players, give new guys a chance. Even for the like the remaining games, I'll even give like youth up and coming players a chance because it's like these guys, like I don't know if they like care, like I don't know. Like just like yeah, like performances like that, even needs as well. But like obviously he's done what he's had to do. So I don't really put blame on him. And then what Gareth Bell, like he was bad as again, like he has his ons and offs, is like I don't even know what's happening with his situation. His agents coming out chatting crap about Mourinho and stuff like that. Like, guy hasn't even been the guy just turns up in a few small games and then just goes missing like in big games like against Arsenal stuff. So there's just so many problems at the team. Like, and I feel like right now we need to focus on the manager we need to get in. Like Mary Mason is not the guy. Like just clearly showing. Like I love the guy, but he's clearly showing he doesn't know what he's doing. He's bringing back Harry Winks, a guy that hasn't really like guys falling off completely. Like you can see in his performances, but like I don't know if it's because you know him, you played in the same team with him and stuff like that. So now you're just trying to bring in the same guys. These guys are just not going to help you. So yeah, just it's all over the place. Like such a simple victory for Leeds. It's a nothing victory now. When we lose games like this, it's nothing. Like no one's really saying anything about it because it's normal now. So like, it's just making me not really like look forward to Tottenham like no more. Like I just look forward to the races, the other races, the Champions League finals, the Europa League finals, the other teams now. Until our team like patterns up properly, then yeah, man, like that's how I feel.
Talking about the manager though, like being realistic, like obviously you don't want Ryan Mason to be your like permanent manager, but like going forward, like who do you like realistically, who do you actually see like coming in and doing a job? Like obviously
Just
the likes of Scott Parker have been mentioned, but I don't think he's got the caliber like to come and like manage such a big club like Tottenham Hotspur. Like I feel like
Scott Parker and Graham. I saw Graham Potter as well. Yeah, see Graham Potter. He's a good manager, but
he's
like
a
it's
really good coach.
like the way he's got Brighton playing is really good. But I don't really, for me personally, I don't really want to see him in the Tottenham job. Like I want someone that's proper like that. I keep saying this. I'll keep saying it. I will take Bielsa. I will take Bielsa. Like I know this guy's got the guy's got. It's basically like how Pochettino used to have us. Like even the way I saw Leeds on the weekend, even the way I saw Leeds on the weekend, literally, they reminded me of the 16-17 Tottenham team, where they were just energetic, all over the pitch, always running, like just putting their hard work into every tackle, everything. Like that, I would take Bielsa, like with expensive football, and then getting the players that he needs, just get him the right players that he needs. And yeah, because obviously the likes of like Ten Hag and stuff are looking really doubtful, like right now, because like yeah, they like I think he even signed a new contract, so that's basically done. So yeah, really, right now, I haven't really looked at all the options out there because I know there's way more options. But for me right now, Bielsa, I will take Bielsa in the heartbeat. I get the likes of Graham Potter, and I know what you're just saying about Scott Parker as well. I actually like Scott Parker, which is mad. I like Scott Parker. Like, I felt so sorry for him. For Tottenham is just such a big, like you see already with Arteta, it's such a big job for him at Arsenal. He's not even getting it done. Like that, I feel like Scott Parker will basically be the same thing at Tottenham. Like you get us playing again, good performances, but obviously right now our standards, the way Pochettino's left our team, our standards isn't that mediocrity anymore. Like our standards is at least top four. That's our standards now, and I don't know if he's capable of doing that. So Bielsa is for me the my favorite candidate.
That's why I feel like with the managerial role as well, I feel like you guys need someone with experience, because obviously you guys like you're used to playing in Europe nowadays, so I feel like you need someone that's like managed in like Europe, whether it's like Champions League level or like Europa League level, someone to like come in, someone who's got like knowledge of like the football game inside out, not just like a British manager that's just having a one-off like season in the Premier League.
I mean, we
I
did
feel
that
like
before.
you guys
We
just
tried
need
that.
to revamp
We tried that.
and
We tried that before with obviously Harry Redknapp and it worked, but that was years ago with Harry Redknapp. Like right now, there's not really that many. The top British manager is Brendan Rodgers. Like I feel like, and Champions League to come to our team. Like he's got Champions League right now. Even Leicester, you're looking at Leicester and you're thinking, right, they're becoming a force. The way they're doing things, the way their recruitment, the way they're playing football. Like why would he need to leave to come to Spurs? So like, and there's no other British guy there I see. You get me? So apart from him, so yeah, like you're right in terms of we needed someone with experience with European pedigree as well. That's why I wanted Ten Hag, like a guy that's won the league in with Ajax so many times, and he's got big European performances against big teams. So, but obviously now it's looking a bit. So right now at this moment, I'll take Bielsa. I know there's other options there, but I haven't really had my thoughts on them yet. But yeah, right for me right now, the Tottenham way, the way Pochettino left us, the Tottenham way, like high energy up the pitch, high pressure up the pitch. It's playing football again, and then obviously that's not just gonna resolve the issues. The players, there's so many players in this team that need going. Sanchez needs to be gone. Eric Dyer, you see that if you saw the first goal, he literally lets the ball roll across him you literally just have like any defender, use your brain. Like a defender, they won't even care at that moment of an own goal. They're putting their tried. You get me? The guys let the ball roll literally across this whole box, and it's like I've had enough of like Eric Dyer, the goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris. He's been at our club for so long, but then it's like obviously he's had up and down performances. Like I'll say at the beginning of the season, he had like I feel like he was performing at world-class level at the beginning of the season until January. He started having those mistakes again. It's like they're never going to go away from your game. So it's like, is it now time that we need to move on with the goalkeeper? And then definitely the defense has been showing up as well. Like the guy had a great start to the season, and then now he's getting bullied by mediocre right wingers in the league. It's like it's mad. Yeah, and then players like Dele Alli as well just need to get like guy. I love the guy in that, but like it's not. This isn't 2016-17 anymore. We're going into 2021, 2022 next year. Like if we're trying to be serious, like we need to refreshen our team. It's the same team from Pochettino. It's not working anymore. So we just need to get rid of a lot of players. I could go.
I think with Tottenham, I think it's just a case of like once the season ends, like going back to the drawing board and just like having a revamp, a squad overhaul, like starting with like obviously the hierarchy roles, like getting a new manager in, and then once you have that manager, like seeing his plan for your club, like seeing his project, and then just like buying players accordingly to how he wants to set out his team, like the style, the formation.
I even like how you just said Daniel Levy, yeah. This guy, yeah. This is where I'm gonna now see what he's on. Like, are you gonna now? Firstly, what he first needs to do is bring in a top manager. If he fails to do that, we already know what he's on. Like, he's not trying to. That means you're basically saying to me, if you don't bring a top manager, you're basically saying to me, you're not trying to get the team to go, like, trying to improve the team to get back to where we were, trying to get nearer to the trophies. Because obviously, at the end of the day, football's about trophies. We need to win trophies. So if you don't bring in a top manager, then you're not trying to make us progress. If you do bring in a top manager, don't just do what you lead them with scraps, like 12 million signings from this place and this and that. Like the recruitment team at Tottenham, I don't get it. Like over the years, like the recruitment has just been like some bad recruitment over the years. From even when we sold Bell, like the players we got in for Bell, like I don't know who's doing the recruitment. I think I don't know if it's him that's in control of the recruitment, but let the manager know what he wants so that like, you get me, so that he knows how to implement with the players. Let the manager get the players he needs to get in, not some mediocre 12 million pounds, 10 million pounds signing for 30 million, being stingy. Like now look at Jack Grealish. You get me? Like so stingy, like yeah, things like this. Now that's why this summer we're gonna really see where like what Levy's on. For me, a lot of people already like a lot of Tottenham fans are already like they want these guys out. The only
I
reason why
think
I'm allowed,
you were actually close to signing Grealish for like what
yeah,
was it, 20 million like a couple
like
of seasons
30,
back.
like 30 million, something like that. 30, literally 30 million, but literally so greedy. So greedy. I think he only wanted to sign it for like 20 million, 20 something.
Yeah, I remember that in the
Daniel
papers.
Levy, like these guys big him up to be some, these guys big him up to be some sick business guy, but then the guy, like, you get me, like signings like that we could have pulled off. Like, and I remember I actually wanted Grealish at the time as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, like just like yeah. So I feel like this summer we'll really know what Daniel Levy and that Enid guy is really on, because a lot of Tottenham fans have really turned on them. I haven't turned on them yet because I still remember what they done. You get me? They took us from the league and stuff like that to consistently challenging for the top four without like implementing so much funds into like so much in terms of players into the team, and obviously building the stadium that you can see they want to make us a big team. And obviously within the Super League thing, I don't even blame them for the Super League thing, because I think they're just seeing it like Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea are all and City are all in this or Super League. Why would we not want to be there with them? You get me? To make us, I feel like it was a big club mentality thing. That's why I don't see them as that bad. But then obviously they're not perfect as well. Like they've made too many mistakes. Like, and I feel like this summer is where I'm gonna like know where they at. Like if they don't get the good manager and the good players in and get rid of all these mediocre players like Sissoko and stuff like that, players like these guys, then they're not really serious about taking the club forward.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I feel like this summer is going to be really important for like your club. Obviously going forward as well, you have like a lot of questions to be like answered. But yeah, I like Tottenham Football Club, so I want to see them like do well. Obviously we thought Mourinho was going to be that guy, but it turned out to be not. But yeah, good luck to Tottenham Hotspur. Hopefully they have a successful summer. Both on and off the pitch. Just before we wrap up, I want to like quick mention about the top four race, and also I want to hear your thoughts on the FA Cup final this weekend, Chelsea Leicester. Who do you see like winning that competition?
Oh yeah, no, the FA Cup final is going to be very interesting. Is it this weekend?
Yes, this weekend. Funny enough, they're actually playing on Saturday. And then they're playing against one another on Tuesday as well. So that might be a bit tricky for the top four race as well.
This one's very interesting, you know. Like imagine, like I can. Why not Leicester? You get me? Why can't they win the FA Cup? The way they've been playing, you actually never know. You actually never, and I'm sure they're gonna wanna go for this FA Cup as well. So, and well, on the other hand, obviously, you know, Chelsea, they've won how many FA Cups in the last how many years? They're just a trophy machine team.
Yeah.
Like going so yeah. I mean, Chelsea obviously are gonna be the favourites to win that. But yeah, this is a game where I wouldn't be surprised if Leicester actually won it. Like it's not like a Chelsea it's not like a Man City versus Watford where you know like Man City are gonna walk it. Like it's Chelsea
Yeah.
versus Leicester. Leicester not a joke team like that. So I see like Leicester could do something. They could win the first FA Cup in like how many years. So yeah. And then in terms of the top four races, it's actually getting very juicy. Obviously, Leicester got that big win against you guys. So that was a huge win. So I feel like and I'm looking at it now. Obviously, Chelsea are on 64 points with 36 games, and then Liverpool are on 60 points with 35 games. Like, boy,
Honestly, you
like,
want West Ham to do
man,
the job. I honestly want West Ham to qualify. If
this
West Ham
is
were to
so.
qualify, I would actually celebrate.
And
Like,
then and then West Ham on 35 as well with 58. So
but then
they still have a chance
talking
as well.
about Leicester, Leicester have two difficult ties. Obviously,
Again,
their last two games is against Chelsea and Tottenham. So that is
us.
you guys are gonna have a big say on that as well. So that's why I feel like if obviously Leicester were to slip up, obviously Chelsea and I would want Chelsea and maybe like West Ham to obviously be favourites to like finish in top four, but then Liverpool have like picked up form recently as well.
I
Uh,
feel like, you know what? I feel like that win against you that Leicester got 66 points. They're actually a bit far away, to be honest. It's like they're a bit gone from West Ham, not Liverpool. They and I feel like even though they've got Chelsea and they've got us, I actually do feel like Leicester could somehow. But then like, again, thingy the last year they bottled it. They were basically in the top four. They even had more points than you, and then you guys they had to literally just. I think they only need a draw against you guys last year, something like that, and they
yeah,
bottled it.
yeah,
Something like that, and they bottled it. So you never know if Leicester are gonna bottle this or not. But I feel like because of the win against you, I feel like that just puts them on the pedestal. I feel like it's Chelsea's position that's vulnerable right now. The way Liverpool are looking, they're looking like they're coming for that top four. The way they played
yeah.
against you guys, yes, you, and then Salah's just,
I
he's
mean,
just such a kid.
you can see in the celebration as well. Like Salah
Yeah,
celebrated the fourth goal like they just won the Premier League. Like,
trust me. Like,
I,
yeah, that guy, like, I don't know why. That's another topic. But I don't know why a lot of people hate on Salah, but like, I feel like he's just a cold-hearted killer in the box. The guy is just a killer. If you knew when he was through on goal, he was always scoring that goal. Like,
I don't know what that's the thing. I don't know what Dean Henderson was doing. Like, at least come out, make yourself look big. Like, he's just
yeah,
standing there in the corner of the goal, just like, yeah, just shoot at the
bro,
rest of the
Salah's just
goal.
gonna slide past you.
He literally just slotted it.
Bro,
He just passed it into the net. Like, I don't know what. Obviously, Roy Keane had a say on that as well. He said like he don't really see Dean Henderson as being the number one keeper for United as well. He said the same thing about De Gea. So who do you think is gonna be the new number one? Like, I trust in both of them, but it's just like when you do dumb stuff like that, like it gets people thinking about your position in the sides.
you
I love
know
Dean Henderson, but it's just sometimes like the goals that he
what? Yeah,
concedes, it's just like they're avoidable.
Dean Henderson's a very good goalkeeper, but is he ready for Manchester United level right now? No. So I think that rules him out. De Gea is still top class, but then again, like, is he gonna cut out the mistakes in his game? Like, because De Gea is the guy I think you guys should go with, regardless. Unless you're gonna get a new keeper, it's De Gea you go with, and then is he gonna cut out the mistakes? So I don't think the goalkeeper problem is as big as Man United think it is, because I still think De Gea's I still think you could win a league title with De Gea in that net. As mad as it could be to say, I actually still think you could win the league title with De Gea in that net. But then it is something to actually look at, because obviously De Gea in the last couple of seasons, a couple mistakes in and there. and you don't know if he's gonna come back. So yeah, that's so the goalkeepers. That's what the goalkeepers.
Yeah. Obviously, the Premier League's ending next weekend as well. So yeah, good luck to all sides. And yeah, the Champions League's in a couple of weeks. So is the Europa. So hopefully we'll try and get a couple of more episodes in before the season ends. And yeah, do a couple of episodes maybe next week as well. But yeah, thank you as per usual, Jojo, for joining me today. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please do the usual. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share. We're out. Peace.
I'm wearing my jacket, but boss said I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she filled that from her head to toes. I need this guap.